Whoa. Well, hello. Okay. Hello. Welcome to another Do As We Do live as we get ourselves situated and and you accept some things. And I'm Zach Kimberly here today with Chris from Life with Grams. We're super excited to share with y'all. We've been out for a week or so, plus or minus. I think I did a live on Instagram one of the weekends in between just to update people. It's been a very busy November, so we hope everybody had a great holiday and they're getting prepared for the next one. But we're going to be announcing our annual caregiver gift, self-care gift today. So thank you, Chris, for doing that with me.
Yeah, it was fun.
And wherever you guys are watching, whether it's on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, if you're watching on Chris's Facebook, please go over to Do As We Do and follow Do As We Do. We'd love that from you. And wherever you're watching us from, if you know a caregiver and you know a caregiver need, please have them share this with them as well. Share Do As We Do. We are out. We're a nonprofit and a 501c3 that is helping the family caregiver be prepared, financially help them with self-care, and educate those future caregivers, because we don't want family caregiving to be a rite of passage or legacy. We want people to be prepared. And even though my mom always said, don't do as I do, but do as I say, we're doing the opposite. We're doing as we do. We're getting prepared. So let's do this.
Love it.
Chris, you want to add anything before I go into our...
No, I'm excited to hear who's won some self-care. And I hope that they use it for themselves. They have to use it for themselves. But we were kind of speaking earlier a little bit about how hard it is sometimes to ask for help. So I just want to put it out there. If your name is about to be called, I'm telling you, look at me. It's okay. Ask for the help. Do it. So that's my little message, is that as hard as it is, release the guilt, feel it for yourself, do something for you, and enjoy it.
100%, because that's what this is for, please. Thank you, Caitlin, Allison, Maria, and Jennifer for joining us. I'm just going to throw them up there and tell them thank you again. But whoever, if your name is called, if you know the person's name that's called, make sure that you remind them to use this on themselves. It'll be $300. We're able to give more people. It's $100 less than last year, but we're able to give more. So I just that's always we want to give the most, so to the most people. So just so everybody knows, and we will put out a list of everybody's first name and last initial on all our social media. So if you don't catch the name, you're not quite sure, it'll be there. And thank you everyone who applied. It was definitely, we're going to get better at how we do this process. If anybody knows a platform they like to use, everything in one location, please tell me what that is, because the way we've been doing it is not working as well as we'd like it to. So. But it is what it is. We just work with it. So
making it work for the caregivers.
Yes, for the caregivers, for sure. So the first person, I'm just going to go ahead and jump in. It's Cameron Browning. Then we have Charlene Crawley. I'm going to get good at saying some last names, I hope. Mary Posey. And Jessica, and her last name is spelled Gize.
Okay,
Jazz, okay. Tina, Tena, I think Tina Song.
Someone a K?
Yeah, Song.
TK, that's my friend.
TK, yeah,
Sorry.
I thought you had called her out before. Amanda Franklin, LaDonna Edwards. I'm still going down so I don't miss anything. Casey Baker. Demetria, which she didn't give me her last name, but she's from Arizona. So
Atwood.
If y'all know her.
Sorry if I just called her out.
You said her last name. What's her last name?
I believe it's Atwood.
Atwood. Okay. Well, Demetria, you didn't give me your last name, so I'm hoping it's Atwood, but we'll confirm.
She lives in it's if she's from the care community, that's who it is, but we'll
Okay.
see.
Allison Sabatini, Amanda Bailey, Leah Fulmer, Bailey Kitchen.
Hey.
Yeah. Matos didn't give me his last name, but from Germantown, Maryland. I'm hoping I'll get a last name. Latoya Yate, Faith, Chaffee.
Schaefer, maybe?
Schaefer. Is that there was no R.
Chaff. Oh, there was no R. I'm making things up now.
That's okay. I do without even I misread people's names all the time. Like, so I always have to apologize in advance.
Yes.
So and I'm looking down Allison Sabatini. Yes, you
She's in here.
She's in here. So yay. Greg Conley.
Hey! Sorry, I get excited when I know the names.
Yeah. Alma Valencia.
Yay!
Oh, yay. Elizabeth Comanche, or Gamache. Daniel Daly. Dristel Bailey. Man, this is going to get me good at pronunciating properly. Rebecca Arrington. It's not Arlington, but it's Arrington. And that will do it.
Yes. Congratulations, everybody.
Yes.
That's awesome.
So our goal is to mail out these checks. If my bookkeeper account would be okay with just me zelling people, I would love that too. But I don't know how they feel about that. So I'm going to be, but so we're hoping to get them to you long before Christmas. I'm hoping they'll go out this week. I just have to confirm. And this year we didn't wait for people to give us their addresses. So just FYI, that's why we asked for people's addresses, because we were trying to, we're not trying to be creepy, but we're still trying to be efficient, because last year we didn't ask for addresses, and that was a big woo.
Having to wait to hear back, try to reach out, and then it goes missing and lost, and then you lose out on that money. So thank you guys for those of you who filled out the application and you filled it out right and you got all the things in there. For anyone who maybe did not win the money this year or get it.
Yeah.
There is always next year. There's always, we want to reach as many people as possible. And, I know Kimberly was doing the best she could, going through everything, vetting everyone, making sure people were real. Yeah. She kept texting me like, have you ever heard of this person? Do you know this person? Is this person real? Do they have a gloved one? So
because when it's a volunteer basis, and literally with having a Google Forms, then you're asking them to do something else, like matching things up are really hard. And when you have volunteers that come and go and things, it's ultimately it's on me, right? And so ultimately I need to get it done. And believe me, I got it done, but leading up to it, I had a lot of stress. Like before telling you, Chris, like I didn't have a fancy sheet ready, because and then PNC, their website went down, the bank that we banked at, like it was last 48 hours, a lot
happening.
Yeah,
but we got it. And I just want to say, on behalf of everybody, thank you for what you do and what you've done for everyone and for caregivers.
Well, thank you.
This is your second or third year now doing this?
It's our second year being able to give money away. It's our third year and being, like formed. So yeah, we're hoping that it gets bigger every year. I don't do as many fundraising things. Like I do a lot of just things online, birthday stuff. We did the pickleball tournament, and that was just chaos. Like the fact that nonprofits put on these events all the time. Like I know we need to get more efficient, but we have a Fundly that stays, on all year long. So we just hope that people will go and donate. But we do a few big pushes online every year. We're going to get better at it. It's a slow process, but I'm just happy that we could even just in the few early years, we're able just even to give this gift money away, get people talking about it.
It's incredible. And in case anyone doesn't know, you're doing all of this for others while being a caregiver yourself.
Yeah.
So,
it is just like you. I feel very fortunate in in how, my caregiving journey was dealt up to me. And, and it was a choice that just like you, that I chose to do. And I'm just trying to do the best at keeping my own sanity through therapy, and keeping my own schedule as best that I can. If it doesn't, as long as my mom's happy, that's number one, right? Happy and healthy is her, and then me. But for me to stay happy and healthy, I also have to take care, self-care, and that is continuing to, for me, it's to continue to work, and at a slower pace than I used to, but that's all I've ever known, right? Like, I don't have any children, so I can't just sit back and be a caregiver. It's just not possible, right?
Yeah,
So
I love that working gives you that
energy.
motivation and that happiness. And that's the same thing. I went on a caregiver retreat back in June, and I met this wonderful woman, Barbara, and she said the same thing, that what she misses was being in the workforce. Like, that was something that really gave her a self-identity. So, there are many ways to self-care. We always say it. Sometimes working.
But it's important to do it, right? Like, we were talking earlier, you got sick a couple weeks ago, and I was asking you, I knew leading up to this was giving me stress, right? Like, I could feel it in my body, but I kept reminding myself, Kimberly, it's nobody's, like, I was putting the most pressure on this, nobody else but me, because I wanted it to be, it's not going to be perfect, but I just wanted to be on time. So even just texting you yesterday saying, hey, like, or Friday night, like, I'm having these issues. Sunday, like that was huge for me, not because my commitment, when I say I'm doing it, like, I'm committed to it. I had to get comfortable in knowing the life of a caregiver, stuff happens, right?
Oh, I felt it in your text message. You were like, I planned it for Saturday. Like, you could feel the energy you did not want. You were like, but we have to do, sometimes we have to turn and pivot. And, the bank wasn't update, the account was froze, whatever it was. And, so
I knew the money was in there. I just didn't know how much money I could say I could give away.
They were doing maintenance on the site, of course, right when you needed it.
So that was the whole ordeal. But, but the fact that you were flexible, and even if you couldn't have done it on Sunday, I would have figured it out. Like,
well, it's like when I was sick, I felt so bad. Like, we were supposed to go live the week I got really sick, and I just was like, I cannot. So I think, that, and that's what caregivers do, is we try to understand that, sometimes things don't work out, even if we put all of the things in place.
Yeah. We have to be, we do it helps us grow in many ways that we realize in the moment, as well as, I know when my mom is gone, I will realize other things, right? As hard as that is to say, it is something that is a journey that I don't wish anyone to be on unprepared. So first and foremost, if you haven't talked to your kids about it, that's why DoAsWeDo is here, because we want you to be, your kids are watching you take care of your loved one. All these people that I announced, Allison, you're on today. So I'm going to just use you as the person. But if you have children or you have nieces or nephews, they see you caring for your mom. Have you had a conversation with them and said, I want you to do this. I do not want you doing what I am doing, right? Like, have this conversation, because then we forget to take care of ourselves. Leading, Chris, you got sick. How long did it take you to get yourself to the hospital before you were just like dying?
Oh, I got sick on Wednesday. I didn't go to urgent care until Monday. And then I was still sick the following week. I ended up in the hospital that following Tuesday. But if on Wednesday, maybe if I would have went right there instead of waiting to see if I was going to get better. But yeah, you got to take care of yourself. That is key. And I think in getting sick, as terrible as it was, it really kind of helped me say, like, you're not doing as well as you think you are. You need to eat better, hydrate more. I mean, really, I think about just before getting sick, and I give my grandma 3 meals a day. I make sure she drinks her water every day, but I'm not checking on myself.
Yeah.
I'm like, one bottle of water throughout the day ain't gonna cut it, you know.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, how much
You
should I
gotta get one of
take?
these.
All
That
I
gives-
have one. I do. I have that
That's
exact
perfect.
one, I think.
Yeah,
It
that
has like
tells
the
you like
time.
yeah. And I
Yeah.
just keep it and I keep it on my wrist at all times. Like I look weird, I walk into a restaurant, I don't care. Like I need some ice,
Oh,
you
it's
know, like
smart.
I
I know.
always
And I need to get rid of the plastics because this is, I open a bottle of water and then I leave it and then I get another bottle of water, but none of them are finished. And so how do I know how much water I'm drinking?
I put all those in my Keurig for my coffee.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I have to fill it up. That was one of the cold water does so much for me, as you know, I do feel it helps calm me. It help like and sense, you know, that's a part of my being aware of the stress that's going on in my body on a regular basis, but self-managing that, like taking the deep chugging cold water and then breathing out, chugging the cold water and breathing out. Like it is, you know, breathing techniques are huge. Google them, find
Oh,
one.
it's insane. What the just even just
Mm-hmm.
I know my heart rate just went down. I feel you literally can
Mm-hmm.
feel better.
Yeah.
It's insane just what stopping and taking a breath will do.
Yes. 100%. Stopping and using this caregiving gift. Like please understand, folks, that this is your Christmas gift
To
from us
you.
to you. We do not want you spending this on, you know, you spend all your time and maybe not all your money, but you spend enough money on your loved one that you need to use this for you. You. So don't make us come after you and shame you.
I know most of those names. I watch you guys on the internet. So let me tell you,
Chris will be after you.
I want to see what it's going to use. You better tell me what you did with it.
Yeah. Well, Allison just says she's going through it right now. She has a bad infection, an open wound. And I forced myself to get good. Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad. I'm glad you went because that is super important. If we don't take care of ourselves, then we won't be able to care for our loved ones. And I do feel that's where even when we started deciding about, you know, or, you know, because I wasn't, this was not my life's mission when I went out into the world, you know, at 20 something years old. This was the last thing I ever thought I'd be doing or wanting to do. And after my first chapter in business, being a consultant gave me the flexibility to, you know, do whatever I wanted with my mom. But at the same time, you know, I was not anticipating start doing a nonprofit. Everybody told me it's too hard, don't do it. You know, you'll be doing all of it yourself. But because I saw more people like you out there that are, you know, or people who were not talking about it. It was like the extreme. People who were talking about it to people who were suffering in silence. It broke my heart, right? That nobody was saying anything about the family caregivers that our laws are not written for.
Oh,
And
yeah.
and that's where it came down to it. Like, do as we do. Don't, my mom would always say, don't do as I do as I say. No, mom, unfortunately, I'm going to do as I'm doing, and I'm going to tell everybody about it. I want it to be different, right? Like you taking on your grandmother, right? Like when everybody was like, you're what?
Yeah.
Right? But self-care is important, and you learned that along the way. You had to, and because you're so open and honest, it helps others be open and honest about it, right? Like
Yeah.
everything from going to the hospital to, your journey back to, just mental health.
Yeah,
To
even the little things of just the day to day, what we go through. And I kind of think that's where a lot of times the family caregiver, not just in the laws and everything in our society, but just as a human, we're not
Mhm.
seen as how badly this disease is going to affect us.
Yep.
Take away caregiving, whatever, and just focus on the fact that I am watching, or my loved one has this disease where they're losing their abilities. And it is so heartbreaking, the anticipatory grief and the stress of the day to day, the levels. I mean, I posted a video yesterday. My grandma literally, I thought she was on her way out. She was talking to her son who's passed. And she was saying, they're telling me I have to go play with my son now. And I was like, no, girl, not yet. I don't think it's time yet. Yeah. And that's the kind of what I was telling you earlier is that it was so scary. And then her oxygen levels dropped yesterday, lower than I've ever seen them. And I check constantly because
Yeah.
I always just want to make sure.
Yeah.
And, it's just, what do you do? I called her doctor because I learned in my experience, rushing her to the hospital can be detrimental if it's not time.
Yeah.
So a lot of people were like, you're crazy, 87, bring her in. I'm like, no, because she's not going to regulate herself in that environment.
Yeah.
If I bring her in, she's going to get more anxious and it's going to go downward. So I want to do everything I can do at home until now. If she woke up this morning and it was still 80, of course I'm going to take her in after 24 hours. But no, she's been at 96 now since 2 a.m. So whatever it was yesterday, maybe she had a little asthma attack. Maybe it was something she couldn't express. I don't know. Maybe it was grief because her son.
She was thinking about her son.
Yeah. My aunt told me that her son passed sometime around this week, 60 years ago. She said it was after Thanksgiving, but before December 9th, because that's when my great aunt's son was born on the 9th. She said, I don't remember the exact day, but in my heart of hearts, after finding that out this morning, I said, you know what? It was probably his birthday yesterday. And she was really sad.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
You never know. Roller coaster.
Memories, even some memories fade, but you'd be surprised at the memories. Like if like I think to myself all the time, oh, okay. Like I remember things that I didn't ever, I don't have a lot of recollection of my childhood for whatever reason. Yeah. However, there are certain things that will pop up and like, oh, I remember that, or I remember that picture. I remember that in that moment, right? We're human, right? So that is a great, in your heart of hearts is absolutely, she was probably remembering that date, remembering the feeling, right? Him and he could have easily, I believe in spirits, I believe
he's around all the time.
Yeah. So he's just, they were having their own little day together and she was, probably slower to be able to receive him. Right?
I feel that. I believe it. Yeah. And that's what's been helping me today. And also kind of because yesterday I was like a hot mess. My eyes are still a little, I cried like all day. I just held my grandma all day and was just like rubbing her and hugging her. Yeah. But we don't know what the future holds, but
you are watching, you said it the best. We're watching our loved ones as they go, right? Like it is it is something that I deal with. I try not to think about regularly unless I go to my therapist and then we talk about it in that day, right? Because I know I need that I need the advance. I need the advance to get through what it's going to feel like leading up to it, right? Because who knows what any of us are going to be like because everybody handles grief differently, but it is a painful process no matter how it happens. So if we're not self-caring for ourselves now and being mindful of all that, so take that $300 and go find a therapist for the day if you need that, a massage, there's so many things that whatever self-care looks like to you, please, we encourage you. We that's what we're here for, to have these conversations.
I was going to say, go on a little shopping spree. Someone said to me the other day, like, do you ever buy clothes for yourself? I'm like, no, I live in sweatshirts that the Alzheimer's Association sends me. I live in free gear. So, take that $300, go buy yourself an outfit and go put the outfit on and then go get a cup of coffee or a cocktail, whatever your choice is.
Yeah.
And then just enjoy being a human for the day.
Yeah. Go to the movies. Go,
get out of the sweatshirt.
but if being in the sweatshirt does, I do believe that the sun, if like there's some days that I just really like to be home, right? Like, but go to the park, take yourself a picnic, because sometimes I need to recharge. I am an extrovert that has slowly become a little bit of an introvert. So I do love the recharge at home with my mom, and it's just us just doing piddly stuff, but still, splurge on a good meal that's going to be delivered to you. Splurge on something, for yourself, because that's important, right? Whatever fills you back up. so you can care for your loved one. It is definitely something that we need to be talking about more, that needs to be in our curriculum in the beginning, right? Like it can't be about either or, it should be and right?
And it should, the caregiver and the loved one. And also oh my God, my brain blank. I don't even know what was gonna say at all.
It's okay. Here, maybe Michelle Moody's comment, it takes a very strong person to do what you do. I took care of my grandmother for 10 years and she had Alzheimer's as well. It's so difficult watching the person you love so much slowly fade away. It's extremely sad. Yes. Oh, thanks, Michelle.
Thank
Yes,
you.
it is, but you develop that strength over time, right? Like don't I absolutely agree, but everybody could do it. Everybody should not do it. Should not feel obligated to do it. And we should all be okay with that.
Yes.
Right? Like whatever the preference is, but that's where our Do As We Do is telling people to have these conversations now.
Ask your loved one. Let them decide. My grandma, I always say it, because she had a lot of loss in her life, and she talked about what she wanted when it was her time. My whole childhood, there was like, she said, don't cremate me. I don't want to be cremated. I want to be buried with my family. I want this. I want that now.
But she didn't talk about when she could not care for herself. So everybody talks about when they die. That's why our motto is, it's not about if you die, but it's about if you live and can no longer care for yourself. Somebody asked me about that tagline the other day, and I was like, because a lot of people mistake the conversation of what they want when they die. And they don't have a conversation about, because everybody will need a minimum of 2 years care. Dr. Joanne Lynn, it's a stat that I heard her speak of, that she said 2 years of care minimum. So let's just say I get, some sort of dementia. That could be 2 years, it could be 10 years. My mom's been living with it for 12, right?
Yep.
Like, we're all going to need help getting out of this world. So talk to your loved ones about what you want done. If you don't want to be in a nursing home, where's that money and what do you want done? Who's going to come and if you don't want it to be your family member wiping you, making sure that you're clean, then who's that going to be, right? Got to have that conversation. If you want it, I want to be put to sleep. I literally have a long-term care policy. I'm going to make sure that one of my nieces or nephews moves me to a state, because I live in Texas, and we don't have the self-suicide pill thing. Move me to a state. I'm going to establish residency for 2 years, and then night, I'm going to sleep.
Yeah.
I just don't want anybody to have to be. I don't want to be their responsibility.
I know. Honestly, talking to you really kind of, because I was like, my grandma took care of her mom in a nursing home every single day, went there, and my great grandma died of a bed sore from improper, being taken care of. And so my grandma's wishes were very clear, which is why when she ended up in the nursing home, it ate me alive, because she begged us to never, if there is a way, and my family does say it. She always said she wanted to end up with me. So it's just the way that this really was supposed to happen. But, and then it's hard too, because what if your loved one says that they want you to take care of them and you can't?
Yeah. You got to have a hard conversation now, not when they no longer understand or you make them feel bad because they don't understand. Like I do feel very lucky that things happened the way they did with my mom, because she was very young when she was diagnosed. So we got POAs, all of them. And it was a progression, right? She did live on her own the first 10 years until it wasn't, but she always had somebody coming around or being there to check. But we should have had the conversation even before then. But you got to have it now. You can't wait anymore. It's not fair. And there are a lot of people already going through it. So I appreciate everybody. I want you to have some time to before we jump and we go over to Instagram to talk about your giveaway. But thank you everybody for joining us. We are going to jump on to Instagram here shortly. If you know a family caregiver that's in need, please have them follow us, share Do As We Do. If you don't follow Do As We Do social, please go and follow one of them because we are trying to beat the caregiver drum and we're doing a lot of great things that we want to make sure that folks know about. So Chris.
No, I thank you. I've been happy to be a part of this little giveaway with you and really connect more with you. And I think you're great. And I can't wait to do more lives and just continue our little friendship here. But for any family caregivers, any caregivers out there, I have a giveaway going on my Instagram and TikTok. It's the same giveaway. But all you have to do is send the video tag at the @ tag a caregiving friend, somebody. Just spread the message to maybe
Don't tag you. Tag.
No, don't tag me. I've seen the video. I know what's happening. Tag other people that maybe would want a little treat. So it's these are the items you'll receive: is a Mom of My Mom caregiver sweatshirt. You'll receive this mug, Caregivers Simply Put Amazing, all with a matching coaster. You'll also receive Elizabeth Miller from Happy Healthy Caregiver. She has a self-care journal with little prompts for caregivers. It's awesome.
Cool.
Oh, there she goes. And then you'll also receive a little kindness piece of art. It says kindness with the Alzheimer's color purple, and a little treat from me and Grams as well. So it really can be beneficial for all kinds of caregivers. But it was just my way of saying thank you to kind of my followers and everybody for National Family Caregiver Month last month. So go check that out.
And there's your social down there that we put up. Please, yes,
thanks,
go check that out. When's the final? When are you going to be picking?
December 15th. So you have until the 14th to get your tags in. Also, if you wanted to repost the video or stitch it, I know on Instagram and TikTok you can stitch or remix the video. So you get 5 extra entries if you post the video telling me about what you do as a caregiver, or
tagging someone else. You have to tag. The key is tagging, because folks, just a little social. When you tag someone else, that helps the reach and brings awareness. Because I mean, I teach social media to a lot of Gen X boomers that really are, or people who just never got into social media, right? There are people who, so I think where people don't understand is when they go, and you have to be following that person to be able to tag your friend. Like, you can't just tag anybody randomly. But it helps spread awareness of whatever that page or that thing is. That's why we ask for you to tag or to share, or, things like that, because it's helping. Because then when you tag someone else, their friends see it.
Yes.
Right?
Spreads out. And that's what this is all about, is awareness. So yes, everyone go follow DoAsWeDo, spread all of the Alzheimer's, dementia, care, love, and advocacy.
Yes. And we thank you guys. We're going to jump on to Instagram. Thank you, Allison. Be on the lookout for your check as well. And thank you, everyone. Jennifer, I can't go back to everybody, but because then we'll be here for another 5 minutes. But thank you guys so much. We appreciate you guys, and we'll follow us over to Instagram. Yeah. Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.